Hi, my name is Mary, and this is my audience. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a topic that I have a lot of passion for and that I care a lot about, and that is the problem about plastic pollution in the oceans and how it's affecting marine life and marine ecosystems. One of the worst things that people could do for the planet is to litter. Because of the littering, there's so much plastic in the oceans, and it actually has an effect on lots of different species and ecosystems within the oceans. Fish species such as fish, mussels, lobsters, marine turtles, and over 100 other marine species have been identified to have consumed plastic. There's many countries that lead to the contribution of plastic pollution, and the overall consensus is that we all know how to get plastic pollution to stop. Everyone just has to make sure they're disposing of their garbage in the right ways, and also for the countries to be disposing their garbage in the right ways as well. Diving in, let's talk about what actually is plastic pollution and where it comes from. Plastic pollution is made up of two different plastics called macroplastics and microplastics. Macroplastics are any plastics that are larger than 5 millimeters, and microplastics are those that are smaller than 5 millimeters. And each year, about 8 to 12 million tons of plastic is dumped into the oceans, which you can only imagine how that would be for all of the animals living inside the ocean. And unfortunately, microplastics are very common within the deep sea. In an article in the July issue of the International Journal of the Environmental Research and Public Health, Karak Prithvaj says, and I quote, microplastic pollution has been identified in various environmental areas. Very small plastic particles about 1 millimeter in size have been found floating on the surface of seawater. And seasides with a concentration of approximately 1.1 grams per square kilometer in seasides and coastlines where microplastics usually assemble and are abundant, levels have been found to vary from 27 to 5,595 particles per square meter on the ocean surface. Now, unfortunately, one of the biggest factors in this issue is that marine turtles undergo a lot of threats and danger from plastic. It has been known that large pieces of plastic can cause a blockage of the digestive tract. Abrasions and lacerations within the digestive tract of marine turtles also come from sharp pieces of plastic. And also, according to a best practice framework for assessing plastic ingestion in marine turtles, last updated in 2025 by the journal Marine Pollution Bulletin, ingestion of plastic debris has been found in all 7 species of marine turtles. Microplastics have been found all the way in the oceans from the surface to the sea floor. Unfortunately, mussels and fish are very susceptible to microplastic exposure, as they're always in areas where pollution is very present. According to the hazard index of microplastics contamination in commercial marine fish species and mussels in the southern Marmara Sea in Turkey, which was last updated in 2025 by the Aquaculture Research Journal, it shows that seafood eaters are actually consuming microplastics. And this is because microplastics actually accumulate in the small tissues of fish and mussels. So everyone that consumes seafood has to be aware that there is a slight level of concern to have with re-consuming the microplastics that were once in your seafood. Now let's talk about some of the countries that are involved in a good way and that are involved in a bad way. Within an article, there was a statement that had said China, the United States of America, and also India are the top 3 factors for pollution throughout the world. In Manado Bay, Indonesia, it's especially really bad with pollution over there because they have a huge lack of river nets, which all of their debris and pollution comes through the rivers and systems. And therefore, without having the nets, all of their debris deposit increases each year. And this has many effects on the marine ecosystems, public sanitation, anyone coming along, as it wouldn't be clean or safe for anyone, including humans and animals. And some of the countries that show the most strong participation to help turn around the damages of plastic pollution are the European countries, as they show lots of efforts to keep preserving the oceans clean, and also just to keep, in general, littering off the road. These are just a couple pictures that I would just like to show you guys of plastic pollution happening. As you can see, there's a few images of some of the sea animals consuming the plastic, and then also just photos of plastic underneath the ocean surface on the floor, all the way on the top, and everywhere else that plastic can be found. And so I have shared with you guys about the horrors and the nightmares of plastic pollution and the reality that the harsh reality that it brings to these innocent animals in the ocean that absolutely have zero control over what is being brought into their home. And I've also shared with you how bad the health effects can be and what can happen to the animals that consume the plastics. And then also certain countries around the world that are being helpful and that are trying to do as much as they can to help preserve the earth. And if there's one piece of advice I would like for you guys to take away from today, is just to make sure every single piece of trash goes in the trash can correctly. Thank you guys so much for listening. Here's my audience one more time.